was images in the preliminary application document. The claim was that the photo montages of the falls, of the powerhouse specifically, are misleading because the flows that are coming over the falls are the same in both pictures, with and without the powerhouse. In context, those photos have a specific purpose. They were to show the landscape with and without the powerhouse. If we had changed the falls, the focus would have been on the falls and not on the powerhouse. But we took that comment into consideration, and in the pad when it was issued, my understanding is that there is a comment there that says the first without the powerhouse is the 1250 CFS is flowing over the falls. That 1200 CFS flowing over the falls with the powerhouse is at a higher flow in the river. The river does flow at that higher level, and therefore the falls that you see can still exist at that level with the powerhouse in place. That was the inference from our statement in the two different photographs. We're continuing to listen and try and present factual information in our documents.
But wait a minute. The allegation, I guess, then was that the project would reduce flows at Sunset Falls, correct? And there would be a visible difference? Is that part of the context?
Yes, sir, absolutely. If they're saying that with the powerhouse in operation,
yes, okay,
that the river flowing at the same rate would have a different flow over the falls.
Okay,
that's a true statement.
Would it be visibly detectable?
You would be, depending on the rate of operation, yes, you will see a visible difference in the flows.
Okay.
I don't know how much.
I've, without knowing the science, I've made a kind of a perfunctory comment that I would almost dare anybody to see a difference, but perhaps it would be visible then. If you could somehow mentally have a photograph of the flows before the project flows after
because the flows are different all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, they vary generally seasonally in volume, but they're different at this hour and this year than
so if we were to, let's say, measure the flows upstream, let's say at the weir, just before the weir, and then there would be a reduction in the flow over the falls.
Yes.
And would that be visible, I suppose?
It depends upon the time of the year and the flow, and how would you visualize it, because you wouldn't be there. And so, like you wouldn't compare. The circumstance is, as we talked about before, we were out there one of the times with just terrific flow going down there. It was just a chute. It wasn't a falls. You take, depending on how much off of that, it's still a chute.
Yeah.
You have to go pretty far to the point where it looks like a falls. And so it's really gets, and Kim, maybe you want to address this, the aesthetics issue in terms of it will still be an aesthetic flow. It will be sufficient for the fish.
I would recognize it as a falls, would I not?
Yes, yeah. It's just, so Kim, do you want to say anything on that aesthetic issue?
Well, I think it's a difficult issue because the lowest the falls are now is it'll be in the future, so it'll change the amount of times it's at a smaller falls. The range of throughout the year is still going to be there. The big flows down to the lower flows. It'll just be at that lower level more frequently. But it would be very hard. You wouldn't be able to compare it like you can with the two pictures side by side.
Yeah. It's a snapshot.
Right.
In time.
Yeah.